Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the Real Israel Podcast with me, your host, Chaim Mailspin. Join us as we dive into Israel's past, present, and future as we explore the rich history, current events, and visionary perspectives shaping this dynamic region.
And eventually I started falling asleep because of the amount of hours I was actually awake. I started falling asleep and waking up to the rockets and shooting. And when I woke up, I could see a helicopter doing circles around above my head. And then I was like I was so thirsty at this point. Like I felt like if I was falling asleep, then I'd die from dehydration. Mm-hmm. So then what went through my head was I don't want people to know I died from laying here. Like I'd rather get shot. So then this whole hour and a half, I'm literally like this, didn't move a millimeter, like because I didn't know if they would see me or hear me or something. So then getting from this position to sitting on the floor took me like 10 minutes because of the pain in my body from not moving for so long. And I was sat under the tree for like probably like another 5-10 minutes, just like wondering if to get out or not. And before I got out, I heard more shooting like from not far away. So I was like, no, I can't get out. Like I was too scared to get out basically. So I'd laid back in the same position, and then probably like another half an hour went past. I fell asleep again, and then woke up again, and then I came to a realization, you could say, that I'm gonna die today basically. So then I got up.
And you knew you didn't have enough strength to even walk all the way back. You were going to think of walking.
I didn't have a clue. I just thought I was going to get shot. Like my whole objective at this point was to get shot, so I wouldn't die from dehydration.
Okay.
Like that's all that was going through my head. Like I'm dying today, either dehydrating or getting shot. I'd rather get shot. Like that's all that went through my head. So I got up. Oh, and like on my last percent on my phone, I went into Google Maps to check where I am and like which direction Nachal Oz is, like this kibbutz.
Right.
So then I knew that when I got out the tree, like Nachal Oz is that way. So then I got out the tree, and because it's a line of trees, like everything's just open on that line of trees. So I didn't want to walk. Like it wasn't really a mission to get shot. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought I was gonna get shot at some point.
Yeah.
So then, instead of walking with the line of trees, like I'd barge through like the branches and go to the next row and like see if there's anyone there, and then barge through it. And I did that probably like 9 times, and then it just started hurting at some point. So then I was like, fuck it, like I'm gonna just walk with the line of trees. And then I was walking, and each time just looking behind me if there's anyone there. And then I got to the other to another fence to get out of the field, jumped over that, and then I was walking. Basically, my only way of direction was a sky, because half of it was black from smoke, and half of it was just blue. Like so, I was like, so there's Gaza and there's Israel, not knowing that the smoke's actually from Be'eri.
Yeah, because Gaza
wasn't even under attack at that point.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that though. Like, I just thought with myself, like, Gaza must be on fire, on whatever.
I know before people die, sometimes their whole life flashes before when you're face to face with eternity, and you're like, I'm really gonna die. Did you feel like some of your life or your childhood or anything like this? No, it was just like.
I think I was just thinking about the moment, like, cause, like I was on acid, you know what I mean? So that really.
Did you ever think maybe none of it's real? The whole thing.
No,
you said at the beginning
you
knew.
I knew it was real. Yeah, I knew it was real. I guess what the acid helped with sometimes, like before I started falling asleep, like I would look at the avocado and like wonder to myself if it's hard or soft. You know what I mean? Like dumb shit like that.
Oh, that's kind of normal. I mean,
like it just throws your mind off it, but you know what's happening around you. Like you can't not hear like all the shooting and stuff like it. It was just crazy amount of noise, basically.
A friend of mine told me that he would hear people screaming, like when the Hamas they discovered them and they would shoot them, and he'd hear and the blood goes in the holes.
That's crazy.
And I was like, oh man, that is in the lungs.
That's crazy, yeah. No, but I didn't hit. I was with no one. Like I was on my own, like for I don't know what distance, but like there was no one around me apart from when they ran past me. And basically I was just walking with this smoke. Because obviously Nahal Oz is on the border, so like I was literally under the line of smoke where it splits from smoke to and I was just like, I'll just walk with this line because eventually I'll get to Nahal Oz. And I actually got at some point to these 8 blocks of cement, like big blocks like this high, and they were actually spray painted with in Arabic. So then I thought to myself, like, I must have got closer to Gaza somehow. Like, I had no idea where I was. And I just kept walking because obviously I think I'm about to die anyway. So I keep walking, and then I get to a field that says, like, I see like these water pipes. So then I run to them, like try and turn them on. Nothing comes out. And that happened like 3 times throughout the journey. But that first time I got to Pardes Alumim, which is like the aluminium
orchard
field.
there. Yeah.
So then I knew I was getting closer to home. But then as I was getting closer, you got closer to the war going on here. So like you'd always hear the shooting and like grenades go off and stuff, like all different noises. So every time I would hear those noises, I'd like turn away from it and go a different direction. And then at some point, like I was fully lost because of the acid and the visuals. So it literally felt like I was in the middle of a field and I could just see that field for just kilometers, like as if it was duplicating the first kilometer. And so then all I could see was a field all around me. So I have no idea where I am at this point. And I'm shouting to the sky, like, where am I? And I need water. And then eventually, like I don't know how long I've been walking at this point, but I got to a point where I could see a city from far away, like really tiny, like you could see the big buildings, but like proper far away.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I'll just go straight to there, and like hopefully I get there at this point because I'm so like dehydrated and whatever. And the whole way as well, like I could see a helicopter doing back and forths. And I'm trying to wave to him with my shirt, like to see if he spots me or anything, but nothing. And then I got to a place where they're like digging the ground out or something with like these big tractors. And obviously they were all parked up because it's Shabbat. And I literally forgot it was Shabbat at this point. So and I went to this building where it was next to. And I shouted into the building, like, if there's someone here, like, I need water. And obviously no one answered. So then at this point I was so, like, exhausted and, like, I was literally crying with myself, like, fuck, like, I actually might die and that. And then I got to the front of the building and saw Ma'agar Netivot.
Yeah.
Which is a reservoir.
Reservoir of Netivot.
Yeah.
Water reservoir.
But like I didn't see any water, like it was just a building that said that on it. So then I was like, that city must be Netivot. So then I just keep walking to the city all this time. Like honestly, I don't know how I didn't fall at this point, but I was just kept walking. And then I got to the trail track, like the train tracks, and like I had to go up this steep hill to get over it. And I just didn't have the power, and then like I could see that down that way it like goes easier to climb. Yeah, exactly. So then I just walked with it, and eventually I got to like these sprinklers that were like
that were working. Okay.
So I started drinking from the sprinklers.
Praise God. Okay.
Yeah. And then when I was done drinking from that, like I was drinking and like washing myself in it and that, like it was so hot. And then I got over the train tracks and like over the 2 fences, hoping that the police would stop me. because I literally didn't know anything. Like I didn't know where everyone was and like where the terrorist was and stuff. Like I had no idea.
Did you ever think for a second that maybe it's bigger than even just the party or the party?
I didn't know at all. Like
maybe it's the whole country is gone.
Yeah,
you know,
like I had no idea.
End of days.
I had no idea. So then I got into the city, into like the newest neighborhoods that they're building. So I had to go past like a neighborhood that they're just building. So half the buildings are broken still and that. And then I got to like the newest buildings which people live in, and I could see three little girls in the balcony.
Okay.
And then I'm like at this point I'm like looking like a zombie at this point. So then I thought to myself, like, I'll just walk towards them and I'll call someone. And then it must be the dad that shouted me like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "No." And then the balcony next to him was a blonde girl who shouted to me if I'm Netta Dalal's friend, which is a friend from this kibbutz.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Yeah." And then she was like,
"Wow.
You were at the party now, weren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I'm so confused how she knows this stuff. And a day later, Netta Dalal tells me that it's his stepsister, basically, like his dad's girlfriend's daughter. So like,
okay,
if they were to get
lives
married,
right there.
Yeah,
she'd be his sister,
and I just didn't know her. So the dad of the girls came down with water, and her boyfriend came down with a knife, and another like person my age around came down with water. So what went through my head was, I don't want to go with the dad, so like his kids don't hear what I've been through. And then I have no idea who this guy is with a knife. So then I went with this other guy with water. And I got to his house, went through the door, and like the news was on, and I could see 260 dead and 140 kidnapped. And then like everything just like, I just basically just fell apart inside in it, like, because I could have been one of them.
Oh yeah.
So then I was crying for hours, and like they gave me everything I needed, basically. Started feeding me, and like at the time I was smoking weed still, so they even went to the neighbors and asked for weed and brought me weed, and anything I needed, like they just got me. And after a few hours, like my phone got charged. I was trying to contact my parents and still couldn't. And then eventually, well, like every once in a while, someone different would call me, see if my parents are alright, and I'm like, I can't contact them. And then somehow they would be able to contact them, so then they would come back to me and say like I was able to speak to them and they're okay. But then after like 4 hours of being at their house, Shimon is a truck driver from where I used to work, and he lives in Netivot, so he calls me to check what's like if my dad's all right, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I told him my story and that I got to Netivot, to a house that I don't know who these people are, basically. So he's like, I'm coming to pick you up. So then I'm like, okay. And then he got to the house, and like the mother of the house, called Svia, asked me who's coming to pick you up, and I told her Shimon from work. And then she goes to the balcony and sees his car, and then she turns to me and goes, Shimon, that's my brother. You're not going to Shimon, he's got no bomb shelter. So then she starts screaming at Shimon like, go back home, like he's staying here, you have no shelter and that. So then yeah, I was just baffled at this point, like.
Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah, but like that made me fully believe in God, like at this point. Like I started saying since then that, like, I've always believed in God, but like since that day, like you only believe in something you don't know, you know what I mean? So then now
until you see it in action.
Now I know that God's real. You get me?
Yes.
Like I don't believe in him anymore.
Right. It's not a theory. It's a reality.
Yeah, because he literally brought me to two people who like I'm somehow connected to.
Yeah.
And even if I knew and even if I didn't, like it could have been all of Netivot that I got to, like just to that specific road where there's two people. It was crazy.
And you had an invisible cloak like Frodo in Lord of the Rings over you. So what about your mom? You thought your mom might have been killed, your mom and dad, your brothers and sisters.
I had no idea.
And your friend that went with you?
I didn't know what was up. Like, I don't know how long it took till I got in contact with him, but he was alright as well. Like, him and the producer and the producer's girlfriend all hid together, and then the army actually found them and put them in an army jeep and then took them to Farmaimon, which isn't too far from here. It's like in between here and Netivot.
And when did you first get in contact with your dad or mom or brothers or sisters?
The next day.
Wow.
Because we have like a deal with a kibbutz that's up north, Mishmar HaEmek, that like every time something happens, we get evacuated to there. So then I already knew like that at some point they would get taken there. But I fell asleep at like 8 in the evening because I was so tired.
Mm-hmm.
And at 8 in the evening they were still in the house, like they were still under attack here.
I mean, this place was burning. Your kibbutz is burning. Rockets.
Yeah. And basically only the next day I woke up, called my dad, and he answered me, and I was like, where are you? And he said, in Mishmar HaEmek. So like they're already up north, and I'm still in Netivot.
What was his response? Was he glad you're alive? What would he do? What did he say?
He was definitely glad that I was alive, but I think he kind of felt it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't seem worried. Like, it was weird. I don't know.
He's like, weird. I knew you'd be alive.
Yeah, something like that.
I still got to take care of you. Just kidding.
Yeah, and even my brother. Wait, I'll finish my story, then I'll tell you. So then I woke up in the morning. My dad got one of his friends to take me to theirs. So I was with one of his friends for like an hour or two. And at this point, there was already WhatsApp groups of people who want to help. So she got on a WhatsApp group and asked, like, can someone take Yair to Beersheba, which is Neta Dalal, my friend, and like a few other friends went to the smaller party called the Psyduck. And they were under attack as well, basically. Like, a lot of people who were there died as well. It's just a lot less talked about. And they actually managed to flee to Beersheba and slept at someone's house. So then this guy just took me to where they are, and then we all went together to the north. All like telling each other whatever just happened and that. And yeah, that was it basically. Like, we got to the north and then
hugs, kisses, reunited with your family, and all your brothers and sisters were all there. Everybody was there.
Yeah, and it was actually weird for me. Like, I didn't want to stay in Mishmar HaEmek with all the kibbutz because I knew that everyone would be asking me questions and that, like, what I went through. And obviously, I went through something different than them. And like,
did they encounter Hamas at all? No, your family.
Only my brother. Like, my brother, he was at his apartment with a friend. We have a friend called Ofri, and every time there's rockets and stuff, me, him, and my brother get together either at my apartment or my brother's apartment, and we just watch movies and that, like, just pass it. So he actually ran to my house and saw I wasn't there, so then he ran to my brother's, and then they were together, and they actually did some crazy thing. They were both running out of battery on the phone. So then they were like, and there was no electricity. So Ofri was like, let's go get my speaker and we'll charge the phone from my speaker. So then at like 9 in the morning, when the kibbutz is full of terrorists, they actually went from his apartment to Ofri's apartment to get a speaker and then came back. And luckily they didn't like encounter anyone. But then they got back to my brother's apartment, and then under rocket fire they went to the bomb shelter. And whilst they were in there, before I left to the Nova, I left my quad bike at my brother's, and then they could hear the alarm from it, like as if someone's like messing with it. So then they thought that I came back from the party.
Your brothers thought, oh no.
Yeah, my brother thought like,
Oh no.
that must be Yair. So he actually went out, like opened the bomb shelter, and there was already a terrorist inside his apartment. Like he saw a terrorist in his apartment and one on the quad bike, all with guns and that.
Mm-hmm.
They saw him come out and like aimed at him and started shouting. So he pushed his friend back inside and then closed the door, and then they were fighting with them on the door handle.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and they were like that for like altogether probably like 5 hours. But he told me that they were fighting with him, and like after like an hour or two, like they basically got tired, went for a bit, and then came back after like half an hour and started saying stuff in Hebrew like Tal, which is the army.
Okay, yeah. Like Hamas is the army.
Yeah. So like trying to trick them to come out, but they could just hear on like the accent that it wasn't Israeli, so they didn't open. And then in the night, like when the army actually came to save them, so they were shouting Tal, and my brother started like interrogating them basically through the door, like what squad are you in, and like what shoes do you have, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So you believe that God saved you and
everyone
and everybody and your whole. So nobody from your family or your friends that you immediately knew were murdered or massacred. Just other friends, but not your.
Not who I was with, but I have a lot of friends who died.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like mostly from Kfar Aza, and also my good friend's family is called Eliaz or Arava. I'm not sure which one they're known as, like in the news and that, but they have two last names because the parents split up. But basically, my friend was up north, and all his family were in the same house, and the terrorists came, and they have a big house, so they basically like probably caught their eye or something. Went into the house, rounded the whole family up, took his mum's phone, and started a Facebook Live from his mum's phone. And my friend ended up seeing it, like watching the whole live, and they took his little brother to like house to house and made him try to tell people to come out. And basically,
that's horrible.
Yeah, and
because they hear the Hebrew and they say, "Come on out, it's safe."
Eventually, his brother died, his mum and his stepdad died, and his two little sisters were kidnapped.
Have they been returned in any deal? Okay.
They came back, yeah. But like, it's pretty sad because like a few weeks ago, one of the little sisters came to visit. And they were just playing with another little girl, and I have these puppies now, so they were like stroking the puppies and that, and then they heard like the noise, like I'm sure you've heard the noises of the shooting.
The Malgamot or the
So there was a noise, and then this, and then one, like the girl that lives here said, well, there's I wonder if there's a place where you can hear it louder, and then his little sister said, I've been there, and then I was like, where? And then I realized like she was inside Gaza, like. Oh yeah,
she was in a tunnel.
That's crazy. It's crazy. So sad, but she said it as if it was normal. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy.
Well, hey, I thank you so much for sharing your story. And 1,200 or so people murdered, 251 taken hostage. You survived, and God's got a plan for your life, and He showed you who He is for a reason. And I think people around the world, any last word you want to just say to people watching that might come to help clean up here and help you guys rebuild?
Everything helps. Like anyone who comes here to help helps. Like no matter if it's a little or a lot, like it does help because there's just no one here really, and we just need it rebuilt so people come back to live. And apart from that, like I did release a music video. Like I make music in general, but I released a music video specifically on that day, like talking about the 7th. And the music video is actually the way that I escaped. Like I literally did the whole journey again, just with a cameraman.
Okay.
So then people can actually see what I did and like how I got there and whatever.
And it's on YouTube? What's it called?
Yeah, it's on YouTube called Here They Came, in Bow.
Oh, the terrorists are coming. Here they come, the terrorists.
Here they came, okay. And it's King Cappa, basically. King Cappa is my stage name. So yeah, I've got a lot of music out, but that one specifically is about the 7th.
Thank you. Well, we'll check it out, and you can buy your album there. Well, thank you for sharing, and I'm glad you're alive, and I'm glad your family's alive. And hey, thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of the Real Israel podcast with me, Chaim Mailspin, where truth shines, dispelling the darkness. And if you found value in today's episode, please like it, comment, we want to hear from you, and subscribe. Click that notification bell and share it. Join the conversation and be a truth speaker for Israel.